All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Boxing Rush Hour Show, fightsatw.com. I'm here with junior middleweight prospect Justin Figueroa, 12 and 0, 10 KOs, 26 years old from Atlantic City, New Jersey, who's headlining on August 23rd, San Antonio Summer Showdown. Justin, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. I'm excited. I'm pretty eager, counting down the days. But my weight is good. Everything I've done in camp has led me to this point where my mindset is if you're not in shape, if you're not ready to fight by now, how many days are we out? About 8 days away, then you're just not ready, man. And I feel pretty ready.
That's what's up. All right, listen, you're from Atlantic City, right? And for those that may not be aware too much of where you from, tell us a little bit about growing up there and how the Figueroa household was growing up.
Yeah, so growing up in Atlantic City, I grew up pretty much in poverty with my family. Pretty poor, but I won't say we were the poorest. Because I know there's people and families out there who's got it worse than others. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I had the most terrible upbringing. But yeah, I was bouncing around house to house, living in motel rooms with my family. Sometimes it will be tough to have certain meals for dinner at night. We struggled growing up, but the struggle helped me create a lot of character and build me to be the strong man that I am today. A big shout out to my father, who was pretty much like a drill sergeant when me and my little brother was growing up. And living in tough neighborhoods, we had to learn how to fight. Because one day I went outside and I got jumped by five kids, got beat up by five kids at once. My dad kept me in the house for 2 years after that and taught me how to fight boxing wise.
Mm.
So after those 2 years, he let me outside for the first time, and I just started beating up everyone in the neighborhood. And due to training, when you train every day, when you put the work in, you're gonna get results. So that was my results at 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, because 2 years went by. And he realized I was just a good student, and I listened to him. And he started taking me to the boxing gym, and it was all training. Boxing and training was like just a hobby for the Figueroa household. That's what we did for fun. Sometimes we would break dance and stuff like that. That would be for fun, but a lot of it was boxing and training. So that's what we did. Growing up in Atlantic City was good for me because it was very diverse. I had got to get that street mentality when I do need that, to be tough, to be thorough. And I'm so appreciative for that. But then again, when I started playing sports, it started to clean me up all around. And I ended up going to a Catholic school in high school and being around certain people um, in different endeavors in life. It helped shape me to be the man and help me mature to be who I am today. So I feel that I'm all around. I feel like I'm clean cut. But when it's time for me to get dirty, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to win.
Yeah, that's what's up. And for people that don't know, like, listen, Atlantic City, it's not all, bright lights and
Glitz
stuff,
and glamour, yeah.
Yeah, you got Camden nearby. I trust me, I know. All
Even in
right.
Atlantic City,
Yeah.
Atlantic City was built off of glitz and glamour with the boardwalk and the casinos and the beaches. But if you go a little bit behind there,
Yeah.
that's where the poverty is at.
Yeah, it gets spooky real quick. So you've been a pro for about 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Curious on after the time between finishing high school and you turning pro, what did you do during that time? There's about maybe 5 years in between there, right?
Yeah, so let me see. My first couple, I always stuck with boxing. I played a bunch of different sports in high school, and then before high school, I had a pretty good amateur career. Started boxing amateur at 10 years old, and I was living in Florida with my uncle during the time my family was in a motel room. My dad sent me out to Florida with my uncle for a better living circumstance, and then the amateur circuit out there was popping at the time, so I was able to rack up some amateur fights. But around 12, 13, 14, I started playing. Playing football. I started wrestling. I started running track, playing baseball. I played all these sports, which I wouldn't go back and change for the world because it made me a better athlete. And I think the better athlete you are, the better fighter you're going to be. So I did that in high school. I wasn't really boxing during high school. I was pretty much a star football player, pretty good wrestler, and then played other sports like baseball and track through high school. And I had dreams of going to college and playing football in college for football, but through the lack of guidance my grades was missing a bit my freshman and sophomore year. I picked it up my junior and senior year, but it just didn't accumulate to the GPA that I really needed to get into some of these schools to play ball for them. So I ended up going to attending a Division III school, Rowan University, and I was going to play football there. And that summer in 2018, I graduated in 2017. 2017. So going into 2018 is where I would attend Rowan University for a semester. And during this time, I got football weight on me. I'm 215 pounds. Thought I was going to play football, but I had just made the Atlantic City Beach Patrol, where I've been a lifeguard for 8 years now. And that's been a great job to help shape me for who I am today also. But I was just trying to lose weight, man. So I got back to my boxing roots, and I was just working out all the time, trying to cut this weight. I wanted to look good for the mujeres, the ladies. I just wanted that beach body at first. But when I was out in college for one semester, I was missing class a little bit, missing homework assignments. And the major I picked which was health and exercise science, I just kind of picked that. I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do, and I didn't really know what I was doing in college. So something told me, you know what, instead of really wasting money here, because I really don't know what I'm doing, I've been partying a little bit, let me just go home. So after one semester, I went home back to Atlantic City, and it was almost like it was meant to be. The boxing gym, my parents moved to a new house, and the boxing gym was 2 blocks away from my house. So when I went home, I would walk to the boxing gym, the Atlantic City Pal, here in Atlantic City. And I was, like I said, I was just training just to lose weight. I ended up getting down to like 185, and then I was feeling great. Cut up, got down to 185, boxing a lot, training a lot. Then I started moving around with the guys in the gym and sparring with some of the pros. And I forgot how good I was. I forgot that I used to do this as a kid. I used to win a lot as a kid. And that was the potential right there. Just sparring with the pros, getting in shape. I was like, you know what? Maybe I could do this. So I found a good strength and conditioning coach, kept going down, got down to 175, and fought a light heavyweight fight in 2019, right before COVID. And this was my first open fight back since a kid. And I fought a dude from Philly that was 17-2. And people thought I was going to lose, but the work that I put in, I was pretty confident. And then when the bell rings, something just comes over me where I'm locked in. Remember that dirty side I was talking about? Remember that game side? Yeah, that guy comes out when that bell rings. So I ended up winning that fight, and that was more potential right there that I saw in myself. But then COVID happened, and you know how everything happened with COVID. Everything got shut down. And even me, my discipline got shut down. I started hanging out a little bit because there was really nothing to do. I started chasing the girls a little bit more, just all that stuff. So I got away from boxing a little bit during COVID. And then once everything started opening up, I was still in the phase of having fun, doing this, being young. I'm 19, 20, 21 years old, being young and dumb and full of you know what. But but yeah, I say the end of 2020, 2021 is when I started training real serious again. I had found my beautiful lady that I've been with for 5 years now, came across her, and something told me like, so I could stop chasing all these girls. I need that one good girl. So I got that one good girl, and I was like, all right, it's time to lock in now. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what I did. I locked in, training, came across a tournament to compete in, which is South Carolina Golden Gloves. And I ended up winning. I fought 2 times in that tournament in South Carolina. That's my girlfriend right there walking in. I was just talking about you. And my first fight back since COVID, I had a dominant performance in the first round of the tournament. Then I fought the number 4 guy in the 175-pound division, number 4 guy in the country, Nasheed Smith. And me and him had a good fight. I ended up beating him in the finals. So I won that tournament. And I just kept seeing the potential, man. I just kept training, kept seeing the potential, kept winning amateur fights in the elite open weight classes. And elite open weight class, you're fighting pretty much the best in the country, which sometimes it could be the elite open weight class is probably harder than the pro circuit when you first begin. You know how the pros get. Mm-hmm. So I showed myself a lot of potential in the amateurs back in 2021, 2022. And after about 10 fights, fought in nationals, fought the number 1 guy, what's his name? Dante Lane. Me and him had a good fight. I thought I won, but they gave it to him in the nationals. But I got a lot of good experience. So it showed myself that I'm a good fighter. My discipline is there now. And it's time to turn pro. I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey, a fighting city. So at the time, it took me about 6-7 months to really turn pro. After I fought in a tournament in December, I wanted the new year to turn pro. But I knew I didn't want to just turn pro. I knew I wanted to turn pro with someone that would back me. Talking about a manager, someone who back me, someone who will have the best interest in me, and someone who has connections. And it took me a very, very long time to find that 6, 7 months in the making, in the work. So I did my own research. I read a book, Protect Yourself at All Times, by
Hmm.
Adrian Clark, educated myself on the business side of boxing, and I came across my first professional contract with a promoter. And from reading the book, I knew some things were kind of fishy, kind of something was off. And then there were some things in the contract where I knew I haven't really seen in the books. I came across Adrian Clark's Instagram and I DM'd him asking him about, hey, can you check this contract out? I read your book. Long story short, he checked out the contract. He told me, you know what, just wait off a little bit. So I waited about a week and he got back to me. He said, I have someone that I would like you to work with. I'm like, sure. He's like, Jolene Mazzone.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, a woman. All right. He said, she's very experienced, been in the game for about 20, 25 years. You know, she's going to do great things for you. And I said, let's do it. I heard she worked with Arturo Gatti in main events, and Jolene Mazzone has done wonders in my career so far. So I'm very appreciative during that struggle and all my struggles throughout my life since a kid with my family and the struggle of even turning pro and finding someone to believe in me. And now I have a lot of people who believe in me, a whole city, my team, management, my training team, my girlfriend. So a supportive fighter is a tough fighter to beat. A confident fighter is a tough fighter to beat, and that's who I am.
Yeah, that's what's up. And I was gonna mention that because I was like, it's a wild coincidence that Jolene manages you, and she worked with Arturo Gatti, who had legendary nights in Atlantic City. So, uh, did all of that like? How did you process that when you understood like her experience and the coincidence that she was working with somebody so legendary like Arturo Gatti, and then now you from Atlantic City, kind of getting that same energy.
I mean, up to this part, with training, with getting with Jolene Mazzone, the fights, everything in my career so far, it's almost like I'm pretty much like I'm ordained for this. This is meant to be. I'm destined for this. So that's how I feel. That's where I get all my confidence from, along with the training and the work that I put in with my team. But I would hear all these good things about Jolene Mazzone. So I knew and people would tell me, oh, you got a good one. You got a good one. There'll be
Mhm.
coaches that would tell me, I don't know what you did in the world, in the universe, but you came across a good one. And so I took everybody's word for that. And then my first fight was at Bulwark Hall. And the only time I've been in Bulwark Hall. Well, not even been in Bulwark Hall. I remember being a kid playing Fight Night round 4. And my brother used to pick Roy Jones and I would pick Arturo Gatti. And we would play Fight Night. I think it was Fight Night 2004 on the PlayStation 2 in Bulwark Hall.
Hmm.
So to fight there for my first fight was very big. So I knew everything that I was getting into. It meant a lot. The what was growing from everything from the first fight to up to now. But honestly, I didn't realize how big Jolene was, how much respect she had, how many connections she had until she brought me to the IBF convention. I was here in Atlantic City
Hmm.
back in what was that? Maybe June, May, June, and everybody was in here. Everybody at the IBF convention was just praising her, telling me like, hey, "You got a good one right there. You got a good one." So it was really cool to see all the connections and everyone who believes in her, and I certainly do too.
That's what's up, man. And real quick, we're gonna get into you're fighting your first 8 rounder, if I'm not mistaken, second fight of 2025, against Jared Tennant, 9-5, 4 KOs. He's never been stopped. He went the distance with Brandon Adams, Marquise Valle, Kendo Castaneda. When you hear all of that, what's the first thought that comes to your mind?
Well, we're fighting in San Antonio. Last year when I fought in San Antonio, the guy that I fought, I beat on him for 6 rounds, but he just kept getting up, kept coming forward, and that was the first time I really noticed in a fight where I was like, I'm having fun. This isn't so serious when I'm trying to knock somebody out. Like this guy's game. I'm having fun. Now I'm boxing. Now I'm fighting. And we put on a great show for San Antonio last year, and I'm looking to do the same thing. I'm gonna come out aggressive. I'm gonna come out to put on a show. I would like to get a knockout, put on a spectacular performance because the work that I put in camp definitely shows, and I definitely know the work that I did put in. And this guy is game, and I just want to give a good show for San Antonio. But I am looking for a spectacular performance.
All right, and then lastly, what do you expect, or what should fans expect from you as we head towards the end of the year and we start going into 2026 um, from the career of Justin Figueroa? Like what should they anticipate?
Well, first, they're looking for me to bring this belt back to Atlantic City, and that's for certain. And I'm pretty sure about that. Then in November, I should be fighting here in Atlantic City, and that's going to be big, especially bringing the belt back. And I'm growing here in Atlantic City. I'm becoming a popular name, the fighting pride of Atlantic City. I'm even going by Mr. Atlantic City now. So it's funny. I'm having a great time here. So that's going to be big when I come back in November. And then I'm going to take the rest of the year off, kind of recover, and focus on myself, have some family time, enjoy the holidays. But I love training, so I'll still be training. And then starting the new year, I'm gonna leave it all into Jolene Mazzone's hands. Whatever she has planned for me, I'll be ready for it.
That's what's up. Well, listen, Justin, I appreciate your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you today. I wish you the best of luck on your fight and moving forward. And I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Abraham, thank you so much for having me.
All right, man.